Today we are going to do Makashi. 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 Form 2 was probably one of the best forms within the 7 forms of lightsaber combat. Now, of course, you will know it for its ultimate use with Count Dooku, head of the Separatist Alliance and the Trade Federation. Well, you guys are probably going to wonder why I would even try to do such quite a complex form. Now, I think this form, after recently watching a lot of European fencing recently, I'm starting to think, maybe this is actually quite a good form that I should try out despite this complexity. Now, to understand this form, we have to go back to a lot of context in the real world, which originates during the medieval era and the Renaissance era. Which, once I explain those, it may make a bit more sense. Now, this is not going to be a history video, so if you want to know more about it, you should go to other channels where they may provide more in-depth information. Nevertheless, this is dedicated to this lightsaber technique form, and I am really happy that I've managed to master a few aspects of it. It's a form that basically that should be combined with another form, like say Form 5 or others, because this is honestly a form for last minute contingencies, and basically that's honestly what explains why Dooku's barely on the front lines, and why usually he has Grievous in his place to go and attack the front lines in Star Wars, if you guys notice all the episodes in Clone Wars seasons. But nevertheless, I will be explaining more and more and more about this form as this video goes on. So hope you guys enjoyed, and let's have fun. Before we continue the video and explore the amazing parts of Makashi, I would like to, first of all, thank you guys for 80 subscribers, and thank you for support until now. Now, you guys are probably going to wonder why my video uploading speed has been decreasing rapidly recently. Now, this is due to a lot of things. If you guys watch my channel, I've made one video about one of those reasons, which I'm not going to name again because it's really giving the headache for me, and as well for many young people as well. And nevertheless, that has been said, and I will continue onwards. Now, and recently, if you guys know, things can get really annoying, and especially if you're around Europe, because Europe is quite stupid at this very moment. Apart from, let's just say, honestly, I can't think of anywhere that's really a bit more intelligent in Europe, because things are getting really cramped up right now. Now, I would like to thank, on behalf of the Bright Imperium, which is this channel. For now, we got 80 members, but in the future, I hope to do more. Now, on behalf of the Bright Imperium, I would like to thank Ukraine for their strong efforts against the heretics of the East. Now, I would also want to give this little brother love letter to President Zelensky, and I would like to say thank you so much. The Lord has chosen you to be humanity's new champion against the darkness. And I'm really happy that you are that leader. You will make a great example in the years to come and the generations to come until the ends of times. Your leadership will demonstrate true modern standards of love, courage, and determination to defend a homeland of yourself. And God bless you all. Slava Ukraine. And continue up the good work. You guys are doing it. The Bright Imperium loves you. The world loves you. God loves you. So what happened during the similar era where basically Makashi was invented so Form 1 was absolutely accepted in the midichlorian society, and basically Sith and Jedi were like, okay, that's a good idea, so we'll use it to fight each other. And eventually the emergence of Dark Jedi, because of some very stupid policies the Jedi made, And basically, they popped out in the middle of nowhere. The Dark Jedi were increasing, and the requirements of lightsaber combat increased rapidly. And the Jedi were kind of shitting their pants when it came to using Form 1 against those, because the Dark Jedi were free of their limitations and restraints, and basically they are to go absolute gangbang style on the Jedi Order and their former brethren. And what had to happen was some Jedi insisted on creating a new form, which they did, and they went to the little laboratory and drill areas and started to create a new form. And that new form would be known as Makashi, and it worked lovely for a time. Or at least for a time, like where basically when it was invented, when it was first used, it was perfect. Because the Dark Jedi did not see it coming in a few kind of ways. So Form 2 is based on precise blade work and footwork. As you can see how Count Dooku fights, that's how he managed to lop off Anakin's arm before he got both of his arms lopped off because of other reasons, which I'll explain later on. And yeah, basically Form 2 can easily dominate Form 3 users, and just a few Form 4, well, if they aren't as skilled as, let's say, Qui-Gon Jinn or Yoda, then the Form 2 users should have no problemo at all at using, using Form 2 to, counter Form 4 users. Now here comes the really tricky part, because the reason why Form 2 is so deadly is because you have to be an absolute master at it to make it work. That's why blade work and footwork really fixes on it. Now, if you guys see the deja vu background of me trying to perform Makashi, you can already see why it's so difficult, even for me, such a big guy, to even use a lightsaber like that. It's because I barely use one-handed combat. I mean, I briefly had a time doing fencing in my old home, but yeah, that obviously cracked up quite badly. And basically, everyone during that time, about my age, were kind of failing quite badly. So yeah, fencing kind of got out of the way in my old home that time. So yeah, that's the context. Now, you guys are gonna probably question, what are the maneuvers, specific principles of this blade work based form? Now that's going to be quite interesting because it's fencing. Remember, Form 2 is all based on fencing. But fencing can also be done by two hands, which is what Dooku did, which I'm going to explain a bit more. So Form 2 mainly focuses on the part of the neck and the head, and also cutting the legs as well. That's what Form 2 was invented for. It was the great counter maneuver during the early times of the Jedi. And remember, again, that this form was invented by the Jedi, not the Sith. The Sith just found it really, really great and basically all about killing, so they just took the maneuver for themselves and make it as if it was theirs. Well, the reason why you don't really feel like the Jedi owned that form, like as if they didn't create it, what it felt like it was because, let's just say, Jedi ignorance can affect a lot of things, even combat maneuvers. So basically, ever since the Sith went to the Codex of Two, means rule of two, I don't really give a shit about if it's Codex of Rule. And basically, Sith appearance became very, 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 very rare. So basically, the Jedi Council were like, okay, well, that means, what they thought it means that they won't have to practice that form ever again, apart from Count Dooku and a few others who are a little bit more intelligent among the others to understand that just because the Sith have been limited to the number of two, it doesn't mean you will never, ever face a Sith. Logic. Now, when it comes to logic, if you're a very logistic, mathematic, and scientific person, then and if you want to know more about lightsabers, then Form 2 will be your best start, because it's focused on accurate blade work, specific principles like footwork, calculated, and yeah. Basically a lot of combat mathematics behind it. So if you're a good mathematician and also a scientific person, then congratulations, you're luck. Well, what I just said doesn't mean that if you're other types of people, then it doesn't mean that you cannot use this form. Because remember, honestly, if you want to do something that people don't think you can't do, it doesn't mean you can't do it. You just need to give more time to it. But obviously, in war, time is quite limited, and sometimes it may be longer, sometimes, and on many occasions, tends to be shorter. So yeah, that's just a heads up. And if you're the one of the very broad and very, tends to use very strong and more powerful blows against the enemy, then I wouldn't recommend Form 2, because if you can see in my little deja vu background, I am literally like a lumber droid. that is trying to hit nothing at this point, which obviously I wouldn't, because if I was gonna try and hit dummy, my saber is gonna break, because most practice dummies are made of wood, and that saber is made of, I don't know, glass, plastic, whatever they call it. Now that was pretty much it for Form 2 and its deadly maneuvers that I've demonstrated. Now I do apologize that they may not be as good as the ones in the movies like Count Dooku, but that also at the same time shows how difficult this form is, and to why Count Dooku was such an iconic and deadly fighter when it comes to blade combat in lightsabers. Now, I hope this video has educated you guys a bit about how this form works, and I'm probably gonna have to skip to I might have to skip a few forms, such as just a little bit heads up, I might be skipping Form 6 in the bit Form 7 because I think similar principles can be applied in Form 4 and Form 5. And I might be doing a Form 3 video soon, so yeah, you guys should stick up until I could figure out my proper timetable, because yeah, there have been a lot of things that have been happening around life recently. But nevertheless, the channel is still ongoing and nothing much should affect it. So yeah, or I could post another videos tomorrow because no one's going back to school nowadays in my area. So yeah, see you guys later, and I hope this Form 2 video has properly educated you guys. May the Force be with you always.